Good evening, everyone. Welcome you all to a brand new episode of Amrita Cafe. The topic for today's session is trends in education, and today we have with us Dr. Benny Kudiakos, Principal, Coorg Public School, to join us for today's session. I'd like to welcome you to the today's session, sir. Over.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Ninja. Good evening, everyone. Namaste. Hope all of you are staying home and safe in the safe environments in the comfort of our living rooms. We are with another session. This time it is trends in education. Before I say anything about trends in education, I am sure all of you know what kind of trends are popping up because present day children and teachers definitely are sifting through online and coming across a lot of changing scenarios that is happening. So in today's session, we will be briefly touching upon a few of the things what I felt is interesting, which is not that very new, but then it is trending right now. That is what I will be focusing in this session. Let's straight away move into the session. Hope all of you are able to see my screen. This is my intro. In 2021, that is the academic year that I'm referring to, a number of major developments in digital solutions in education, that is such as the widespread switch to online schooling, the rise in the use of apps and hybrid learning. Lot of things happened in 2021. It was all uncertain times, and we started literally experimenting with a lot of applications and lot of startups came up during this year, and many people started experimenting, and many of those experiments came successful. Of course, some of them failed, but then most of the things, whatever came up with different ideas, different applications, all of them literally flourished throughout the academic year 2020-21. Different institutions trying out different technologies available and trying to reach out to the student population. Teachers were at greater difficulty, especially teachers of my age group, those who have crossed 50s. Definitely this technology, we never was born with the technology, unlike the present generation. So what happened, the teachers, those who are in their later years service, probably put in more than 20 years of service. They were experts in their field, but then switching over overnight into online and hooking students were an uphill task. But I must confess that I have seen many of the teachers of my age group quickly switching over, learning the tactics, learning the technology, learning the online presentation. And right now what I'm using, it is not a PowerPoint, it is a Prezi, it is another application. So this is like, it has got a lot of, easy way of managing this than probably the PowerPoint. But there are a lot of things that can be done by using this. This is just an example. So what I'm trying to tell you is that 2020 thrusted upon technology into the field of education. A lot of chaos. Through this chaos came up a lot of ideas and a lot of innovations. That is what we need to accept. That is a silver line in the midst of all this chaotic scene that we have seen during 2021. And in 21 we saw a lot of stabilization. A lot of things, what got introduced in 2020 got stabilized in 21, though on and off. once in 6 months, a month, physical classes, again another round of, hike in the COVID cases, and then lockdown or closure of education institutions. Those things happen. But then we saw the technology, the application based learning stabilizing in 2021. Most of the people in the education circle were hooked on to some or the other form of hybrid learning, whether it is online, offline, or a blend of both. Now, through this presentation, we will just find out very briefly what are the new things that is coming up. I have just shortlisted four of them. We can, according to our taste, our field, our interest, we can actually come up with n number of trends in 2022. This is what I have found, and I am sharing that with you all. Now, before we begin, let me inform you. You can interject me anytime when if a question or anything is popping up. You can just message me, or you can ask me questions in between the. I'm happy to answer your questions in between if at all anything is coming up. Now, the first one is nano learning. Though it is trending, it is not a new concept, but it is coming out as a new concept. Probably teachers, those who have done B.Ed and all, you might have learned about micro teaching. Something related to that is what is called as nano learning. Nano learning is nothing but a small sized learning solution. That means you are splitting or bifurcating a particular topic into smaller bits and learning. Now it has got a larger perspective also. I'm just taking an example. For example, say algebraic expressions you are learning. Now you're not going to learn all the expressions at one go. You will say, for example, a plus b all square. What is it? How is it? How is it derived? A minus b all square. Or otherwise in science, biology, if you take cell, for example, cell structural and functional unit, we say only that part we will study. We will not study, get into the cell and see the organelles and all those. Then it becomes very complicated. So one point, one small sized concept we learn at a time. And the time duration will be very, very short. It can complete it in 2 to 5 minutes time. So what happens? You are completing a concept in the given time and you are thorough with it. Unlike in the past, what happens? We teach a lesson at one go, and in that, lot of smaller bits and pieces information is there, concepts are there, which you will just touch upon and go. You will not go to the details of that. Some students may catch it, some students will not. So going forward, a lot of issues will happen. So nano learning, one way is very good in understanding the concepts very, very closely. That is a new topic that is trending now. And why it is trending? Because in online teaching, if you teach for say 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that is the time period in which one can pay attention. Especially children of your age group who are always distracted with your gadgets, definitely these shorter versions will hook you. That is the reason why we have nano learning as a trending learning method. Going forward, the second one is virtual reality and augmented reality. Both are two different concepts, but very closely related to each other. VR and AR, we say. Now, in this, what is happening? Virtual reality, for example, if we take, now suppose a history teacher is taking, say, Delhi's Red Fort. Now, a child sitting in southern India have never seen a red fort before physically. How can see 2D diagrams and all that you can show it on a chart and etc. in the classroom, but it is not that effective. But if you have a 360-degree view of the fort and the fort comes live in the classroom, a particular object, a thing is coming in live in the classroom, you are playing around with it, you are getting into the fort, that experience, that exposure, that is what is called as augmented reality is all about. And how interesting and how impressive it is for the children to learn like that. This is, you might have, in the beginning, 2020, all of you might have seen a newspaper report wherein a teacher experimented by using her mobile augmented reality in a classroom. You might have heard this story. So that is so wonderful that, for example, a tiger comes alive in the class. When a teacher is talking about a tiger, tiger comes alive in the class. That is augmented reality. In virtual reality, just opposite, it is actually showing you a geographical area. It's kind of virtual tour of a particular place, or maybe you are interacting with a group of people, or otherwise, for example, if you are learning a foreign language, suppose you want to learn German, why don't you get into a German village? You can get into a German village by using virtual reality, and you will hear what German people are talking in German, and native speakers using the language, the nitty-gritties of the language, you will automatically learn. That kind of an immersive language immersion is what is called as. You can see this field trips, virtual carriers, high-tech training, language immersion. These are all plus point for the present day generation using this technology, sitting in the comfort of your living room. You can experience any place in the world, and you don't have to worry that you haven't seen that particular place. How in real life that place looks like, it will exactly give you that kind of an exposure by using virtual reality. I'm sure most of you might have already used or using it, and you are very much aware of it. And this is a new trending reality in education, and with 5G rolling out, definitely this is going to get upgraded, and our experience would be greater in the coming days with 5G in place. The third one is project-based learning. This is also not new, but then it is very much relevant now. Now, why project-based learning? Previously, the project-based learning was like, the teachers will give you some topics, and you, by talking to somebody or collecting data or reading books, you collect data and present it in a formal way and give it back to the teachers. That is not the project-based learning I'm talking about. That is the old style of presenting things. Now, project-based learning is actually you are identifying a particular issue, investigate, respond, and then in that process, what is happening? You are going to interact with a lot of like-minded people, and that collaboration, that communication, then that critical thinking, all those things will make you a better person when it comes to a scenario wherein you are entering into a corporate or a job scenario, or wherever you are placed, whatever locality you are placed, how you are interacting with your fellow beings, that will see a sea change, because the experience through this project based learning will be tremendous. That is where I said that project-based learning. It is not just presenting some report or something like that. That is what used to happen in the past in the school-based or college-based project-based learning. It used to happen that way, but not anymore. Now we talk about collaborating with people and talking to others, and brainstorming sessions wherein different ideas, different line of thinking will come in, and finally you come up with a perfect solution. And that is the idea of project based learning. Now, some examples of topics that can be, these are all broader ones which can be again split down into smaller topics. Finding solutions to a local environmental problems, coming up with alternative energy sources, analyzing photography or photojournalism, voicing opinions on a popular debate or a local problem. Your opinions will be valued by others. So these are just some of the topics. Another thing is experiential learning. Now, experiential learning is also not new, but this is also trending. Why? Because the students, if you want to engage students, you need to expose children to that kind of hands-on experience. Now, hands-on experience in physical classroom, you can take the children to a lab, you can take the children to a different place or a open area or a marketplace. All those exposure is possible now. But in online learning, experiential learning, how to give, you can online also. We have a lot of applications available wherein you can play around with gadgets, play around with whatever you are thinking about, and you can expose the children to those technologies. That is experiential learning. The thing is that practically you should expose yourself, and then analyze the situation, analyze the question given, and then come up with solutions through teamwork and planning. All those things will come. Now, why this experiential learning is because student disengagement is on the increase. Students are not able to focus. If you continuously, now I am talking to you continuously, I do not know how many of you are really listening to me, but then if I had I given you some work, come up with your, but this is not purely an interactive session, so we cannot do it here. But normally in an online class or offline class, we will have chances wherein the teachers can give the problems to them and give some guidance. Definitely children will come up with their own solutions. So that kind of an exposure, a hands-on experience, is what the present day children like, and we can grab their attention through this kind of experiential learning. A new way to tackle this is gaining momentum, enter experiential learning. Now, the another thing is that online schooling. This is from 2020. You are exposing yourself to online schooling, online university education. But in our times also, when in 1980s, when we were doing our college, we had this. This is called as distance learning in a different format. But there, online, I mean, the face-to-face interaction or a direct voice message, nothing is there. Only you will send the printed notes. The students will sit at home and study and prepare for the university examination. Definitely, university examinations used to happen physically. It is offline examination, no online exam. In some cases, definitely we are submitting our thesis and the valuation of that, and probably a YY is conducted. So that way also many courses are accomplished. Now, in present day online schooling is totally different. Now I'm talking to you directly, though I'm not able to see you, but you are able to see me. And if you want, we can make it two-way communication and interact with each other. That kind of an online schooling is what the the 2020 corona lockdown brought in, and definitely all of us grabbed that opportunity, and then now all of us are online or offline or probably hybrid, sometimes online, offline. The way forward is, I feel this is going to stay here. Even if Corona goes, online schooling is going to stay with us because now we understood the benefits of this. So therefore, this is going to stay with us. Now, the education, now online schooling, one advantage is that the the barriers of education is broken down, and the door is opening to a wider pool of students with lesser, economical impact, or people don't need to spend so much or invest so much in education as if sending the child to a distant place, hostel, and all those kinds of logistics we have to see. All those things are gone away. Now, sitting in the comfort of your living room, what is the demand? Arrange for a good internet connection and a good gadget, a laptop or a tab or a good mobile is more than enough for us to experience the online learning. And this is becoming more and more, acceptable in the society, going though our society is not mature enough to use the gadgets to that extent. Definitely the scenario is going to change in another couple of years, and you see what happens. Our society will mature, season into using gadgets prudently. Now, children of school age children, definitely when they have online classes, they will keep the gadget open and log in, and they will be there, on their screen. Some other tab will be open, or they'll be playing games. That is happening now. I know I have personally experienced that in parents coming and complaining how to control the children. We do not know. All those complaints are there, but you see, once this technology is extensively used, children will understand their responsibility, and they will limit their, screen time, and they'll be a little more responsible over a period of time. Initially, it is all, we are all very curious about this technology, and once we get freedom, suddenly you get internet connection and a good gadget with you, you will try to explore maximum, whether it is songs or movies or games or whatever it is. That will be the first thing to do. But over a period of time, you will mature, you will see reason, and you will settle down and start using the gadgets for the intended purpose. That is what going forward, it is going to happen. That is why I said this is going to stay with us. Corona may go away, but online schooling is going to stay with us. In this online learning, blended learning is there, automatic grading is there, digital textbooks are there. Blended learning is a combination of online and offline technologies, and automatic grading. This is a great help for the teaching community because whatever the assignments or homework or essays or tests, etc., submitted by the children can be marked by technology. So the clerical job, the menial job of the teachers are going to come down. What will happen? Teachers will have a lot of free time wherein they'll be able to upgrade themselves and research more, come up with innovative ideas, and they'll be able to share that with the children because they'll find more time. Most of the time of our teachers go away in clerical job, tabulation, marking, correction. In universities, it may not be to that extent, but when it comes to school level, that problems are too many. So clerical job, our teachers do a lot of things. So that will come down. Now digital textbooks. Now we are spending thousands of rupees for procuring textbooks for children. Once the digital textbooks are there, those expenses will come down. Definitely, this will be available freely, over a period of time, the main concepts will remain the same. Probably the presentation and style will change. So the textbooks, digital textbooks, are going to be widely available for the children at much cheaper rates, and that will bring down the cost of education and thereby widening the availability of education. So common people will be able to afford education. So these are the plus points there. Now, in conclusion, that's it about the trends in education. In conclusion, I'll just say this much. Trends in education is an ever evolving field. This is not final. What I presented is only the tip of the iceberg. The demands and requirements of the future, shaped by the prevailing situations, will change the education landscape altogether. Thus, change in education will be permanent. This is an ever evolving area. The education field is not going to settle down. It is just an area, a field where uh, you see this time this is what is trending. After an year something else will come up. So it is not going to be permanent at all. What is permanent is the change, and those who are ready to accept changes will definitely survive. Those who reject changes will perish. This is what is going to happen. And those who are not able to adopt technology will be called as illiterates in future. If we are not able to adjust with the technology and the demands that is happening, definitely we will not be able to cater to the needs of the future. So that's it. Thank you very much. And I'm surprised that nobody asked me any questions in between. Probably all gave me a rapt attention. Thank you very much. Now over to Nija for questions.
Thank you so much. Had a very informative session.
Thank
So
you.
we have questions from the students, so I'll just read that out.
Yeah.
So the first question is from a teacher. What type of projects can be introduced to students and how to overcome the challenges of online medium to do the same?
Types of projects depends upon the subject. Now the projects, see, there are now online schooling. The children may not be able to interact with each other physically. In such cases, teachers will have to innovate and come out with projects wherein children will be able to talk to each other over phone or over online meetings, and then engage with each other, come up with solutions, and present their project reports or presentations. So that way you will have to innovate. Again, this is all depending upon the subject. Now, for example, if a science subject is there, say, for example, physics. Now, if you are teaching a topic like, say, refraction of light, you can give a topic related to refraction of light, come up with a working model on refraction, wherein from different angle of incidence how the light will behave. So they can find out broken mirrors at home easily, glass pieces and etc. One side you just try to cover it up, it will become a reflecting surface. So there are a lot of opportunities that way to give projects to the children. Only thing is that we need to find out, innovate, and give them some unique things wherein their curiosity is evoked. That is what is required. We have to prick their curiosity.
So the next question is how nano learning can be implemented and can you share any example on it?
See, learning, yeah, that is what the example I gave you. Say, for example, cell or algebraic expressions when we teach only one topic of that. And then what you do, say, for example, a plus b all square. The expansion everybody knows. A square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay. Now, based on that, you give n number of problems. What happens? When the child does that kind of problems, that particular concept will imprint or remain forever in his brain. But if you start with a plus b all square, then a minus b all square, then a plus b whole cube, lot of things are there. The teachers give all these formulas, and then you give all mixture of them. Which formula has to be applied in what kind of circumstances, situation, child should be learning through nano learning. Now, in the same way, in biology, when you talk about cell, if you explain only the structure of the cell, not the organelles, definitely the child will understand, okay, this is the structure of the cell. And when you get into organelles, at a time you teach only one organelle. For example, say ribosomes. Ribosomes itself is a big subject, or mitochondria. It's a big subject. I'm talking about in the secondary section. When it comes to the junior classes, etc., okay, the topic is very very minimal. That time you can take probably the cell as a whole. So you split the topic into smaller units and then you conduct a test, a class test. Definitely you see children will immediately answer, and once they understand, yes, they are able to answer these questions comfortably well and they are able to score well, the confidence level in children will increase like anything. And step by step, you will be hooking your child to your subject like anything. That is what is needed. Once they are hooked to your teaching style, your subject, they will never leave you. They will never leave that subject. That way, once you are, grabbing the attention of children, definitely you will succeed in your field.
Yes, exactly. So thank you so much, sir. That's all we have from teachers and students. Thank you so much for a wonderful session, very informative session, I would say. And I'm sure that all the students had a really good session. So thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all for another episode of Amrita Cafe. Till then,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Ninja, for the opportunity, and thank you, Amrita, for calling me again to this. What is it called as cafe? Amrita Cafe. Yeah, it's very interesting to, and I would suggest that if we are able to interact with the audience also, probably it would be great in future. Thank you very much, Ninja. Bye bye.
thank you so much, sir.